All right, good evening. It's great. It's been already 3 weeks that I have not been here, and I want to thank Rabbi Chaim Busko, for covering so nicely for the classes. We left off in middle of chapter 4, the way to acquire vigilance in the Mesilat Yesharim, the Ramchal's teaching of the way of the upright, the path of the just. So we're in the middle of page 72. Thank you so much for our placeholders here. We left off is, what do we do if at the end of our lives we realize that we invested our entire lives in everything that wasn't important? What do we do if at the end of our existence on this earth we take this calculation of, okay, what did I do? What did I accomplish? One second, I was going down the wrong path my entire life, right? There's nothing you can do once time is over, right? The Ramchal notes a possible rationalization that may be offered by some members of this group, and this is referring here, we're talking about the different levels of contemplation that one can have, right? Remember, we said the highest level of contemplation was to have a clear understanding that perfection is the only matter worth being coveted in this world. But then we had the lesser is that it's and here we're in the middle of the second. We're in the middle of that second group, and Ramchal. Okay, so he says like this: V'hine yesh me'aptaim. Now there are those foolish people that only want to lighten their burden of divine service from upon themselves. Why do we need to busy ourselves with so much piety and abstinence? Isn't it sufficient that we just not be among those who are wicked, who are judged for Gehenna, right? We should it's okay, just do no harm. That's it.
Set the bar as low as you can get.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I don't do bad things, I'm good, right? If we don't have a big portion, okay, so at least we have a small portion. For us, it is sufficient. It's enough. We will not make the yoke of our burden heavier in this world because of the pursuit of the highest level of reward in the world to come. We don't need the highest level. I don't need to be among in Moses' camp up in heaven. I don't need to be in Rashi's camp. Just as long as I'm not in purgatory, as long as I'm not in Gehinnom, I'm good. All right. So the fallacy of this argument, what do we ask them? We say as follows: would it be easy for one to bear in this world, the transient world, seeing one of their colleagues be more respected and esteemed than they? In this world, okay? In this world, are we comfortable with people having this level of superiority over us, right? And they will dominate them. Are we comfortable with our friends getting all that honor and getting? No, of course not. And imagine if it was one of your servants, right? Would we be okay with our servant being elevated above us in stature? Or one of the poor people who are disdained and lowly in their eyes? Would they be able to tolerate having these inferior people command greater respect and admiration than they? Of course not. Without being pained and without their blood boiling inside them? Lo vadai, of course not. Right? Of course not. Of course there's no one who would tolerate or who would be comfortable with someone lower than them getting greater respect than them. Ki hinei einenu haroot, we know this to be true, for indeed we can see with our own eyes, ki amal adam lehinaseh al kol mi sheyuchal, that all the toil of a man expends in his world, in this world, all we toil for is to achieve superiority over whoever we can. Vilasim mikomo ben aramim yoter, and to establish a place among the highest echelon of society. We all want to be on a higher level. We want to be. We all want to be among those who are great, right? You know, imagine someone says, "We have a special class. This class is for losers," right? The class won't have anyone, right? You say this is for leaders. Oh, everyone wants to come because, right? I'm a leader. Ki hi kinat ish mire'ehu, for this is man's rivalry with his fellow, right? This is what we say in Ecclesiastes, right? We all have a level of jealousy or a level of competitiveness where we want to be bigger, we want to be better than others, right? And if one sees his fellow elevated while he remains lowly, vadai shemash yizbolhu mash yuchrach l'savlo, it is certain that if one sees his fellow elevated while he remains lowly, it is certain that whatever he bears is only what he is forced to bear, because he's unable to prevent it from occurring. But his heart smolders inside him with jealousy and bitterness. Right? You see someone getting a greater honor. You see someone getting something that you feel you deserve, right? And it bothers you. What do you mean? I should be getting that respect. I should be commanding such honor, right? The truth puts the lie to this rationalization that we mentioned above, right? What did we say before? Well, in the world to come, we're okay being inferior, right? Oh, but in this world, we're not, right? Of course not, right? Of course, it's silliness for one to think that in this world, we're not okay with being inferior to others, and in the world to come, we would be okay with that. It's obvious that that would not happen. The truth puts the lie to the rationalization advanced above, and it says as follows: Me'ata, now, im kach kasha lehem, if it is so hard for them, liot shvelim mizulatam b'ma'alot u'medumot ha'kozvot she'ena shiflut bam elo lifnim, v'lo ha'hinasei ela shav v'sheker. We'll read all this together now. He said, to be more lowly than others with regard to their place in the illusory and false level of this world, right? Where any lowliness is only superficial, and any status is nothing but vanity and falsehood. How will they be able to bear seeing themselves in the world of truth, in the world to come? Classified as more lowly than those very people who are now in this world considered more lowly than them. Right? So it's a very logical argument that the Ramchal is putting here. Ramchal is saying that how can you think that you'd be okay with someone being superior than you in the world to come when you're not comfortable, and the world to come is the world of truth, where in this world you would absolutely not tolerate that, where someone being superior to you. He says, obviously, v'zeh bimkom ha'ma'ala ha'amitit v'yakar ha'nitzchi. And furthermore, this establishment of their inferiority will incur in the place of true eminence and eternal honor. She'af al pi she'achshav ein mikurim oto ve'eterko, which although they do not yet appreciate it and its value, al kein lo yachushu alav, and they therefore are not concerned about it. So here we go. So let's understand, why are people comfortable with saying, in the world to come, I don't need to be a big righteous tzaddik. I don't need to be a great. Isn't it just enough for me to be one of the people? Let me just be one of the people in the world to come. As long as I'm not in hell, I'm okay. Right? I don't need to be, right? So Ramchal says, because in this world we're not just okay just being, right? We want to excel. We want to go above and beyond. We want to win a race. People are in this world in a race. It's an amazing thing. People in this world are in a race. They are constantly looking to be better. Not necessarily better than others, but imagine two people are trying to develop the same product. They're trying to accomplish something. And one is recognized and one isn't. The one who isn't, how are they going to feel? They're going to feel embarrassed. They're going to feel ashamed. They're going to feel bitter. They're going to feel angry. They're going to feel jealous. It's a lot that one might feel. Why? Because why did they pick me? I am better. Right? Everyone wants to be. Just a side note. Every human being on planet Earth wants to feel special and wants to feel unique. I think we've mentioned this before. There's no human being on planet Earth who says, I just want to be. No, I want to be special. I want to be unique. You wonder, you have people who dress in a certain way. Why do they dress that way? Weird ways sometimes. Right? Sometimes in ways that, what's calling for that? Usually what's calling for that is that they want to feel unique. They want to feel special. They want to feel special. They want to feel something which is different than anyone else. Right? You walk into, this applies more to women than to men, but it'll also apply. Where if you have a woman walks into a wedding and she sees someone wearing the same exact dress that they're wearing, right? They may not be so thrilled. Why not? Because they want to feel special. They want to feel unique. And every human being has that desire. Every human being has that want to be special and to be different in a unique way. In the world to come, it's also like that. Every person in this world wants to be different. In the world to come, you also. You don't just want to say, you know what? As long as I made it onto the safe side of the world to come, right? I'm good, right? That's not the way it works. Okay, and even more so because we know in this false world how we feel. In the world of truth, it'll be even more so. Okay. Which, although they do not yet appreciate it and its value of the world to come, it is only because of that they are not concerned about it. But in its time, when they come to receive their eternal reward, they will certainly recognize its true worth very clearly to their pain and embarrassment. So one will be in the world to come, and we see with clarity, and we see with truth, and we see with all of the clarity of the and light of the world, and we suddenly realize that we didn't invest enough in the right stock. This inferiority will certainly be for them nothing other than a profound and everlasting source of pain for that soul. Okay? So what Ramchal is telling us is that saying I'm okay with mediocrity, saying that I'm just okay with being okay is not enough. We all strive for perfection in our lives, and it is important for us to not let go of that desire for perfection when it comes to matters we don't understand, like the world to come. Okay, Ramchal concludes here. This is the second level. Soon we're going to get to the third level of contemplation. He says, Aryeh lecha. So we see from here, she'ein hasavlanut hazeh asher hem dorshim la'atzmam lahakel mehem chomer avodah. He says this tolerance and willingness to receive only a small share of heavenly reward that they are advocating for themselves in order to ease for themselves the weight of the divine service is nothing. Ele pitui kozev shemefateh yitzram otam. He says it's nothing other than false delusion with which their evil inclination is inciting them. So our evil inclination is inciting us and telling us you don't need to think about, you don't need to worry, you don't need to worry about the world to come. It's the world to come. It's not, right? And we know very, very clearly from what we've seen here by the Ramchal, and that is this world is the world where we get convinced that this is it. And all of our investment needs to be to gain popularity here, to gain wealth here, to amass, status here in this world, while really it's not really anything in the world of truth, in the world of the world of the souls, the world to come. Okay, it's nothing other than a false delusion with which our evil inclination is inciting us. V'lo davar amiti klal, and it is not a valid argument at all. It's not truth at all. V'kfar lo haya makom lepitui ze lahem, there would never be a basis for them to fall for this spurious incitement. Lule hoyu rom amitas ha'inyan. If they would only see the truth of the matter, if people would only see the truth, they would never be convinced by this false narrative of our Yetzer Hara. Avol lefi she'ein mevakshin also, but because they do not seek the truth, v'holchin v'shogim l'ritzonam, and instead continue blundering as they please, hine lo yusar mehem pituya. Their delusion will not be removed from them. Ad hazman asher lo yo'il lahem, until the time when it will no longer help them to realize the truth. At that time, what will happen? When they stand for their divine judgment, it will all be too late. Ki lo ye'od bi'adam letaken et asher shichetu. For they will no longer have the ability to repair what they have destroyed. So Ramchal is teaching us here is that sometimes we wake up a little bit too late. We wake up too late. We don't see the real prize that we're here for. I've said this story before, and it's important to repeat it. It's like you have. Sometimes our children can do this as well, right? The children, you can send them to the supermarket. We don't do that anymore today, but it used to be you send a child, you can send them to the little market down the block. At least in Israel, where I just was, they have these little makolets. You have these little stores. You can go get milk, and you can go get bread. Right? But if a kid gets carried away and is busy looking at the candies, they might forget and come home with their candies, but not with the milk that they were sent for. Right? Imagine this world is that little makolet, and we're that little marketplace, and we go to get what we need to get, which is as many mitzvahs as we can do, as many bring God into this world, and we get carried away by the glossy things. We get carried away by the materialism. We get carried away by the nice cars, and we get by the nice houses and the nice clothes and the fashion and all of that. And then what happens? And then what happens is we get back home and our mommy tells us, "What did you do?" Well, yeah. Why did I give you the money? Why did I give you your potential? Why did I give you your capabilities? Why did I give you your talents? Why did I give you all of the abilities that you were gifted with? For what? You got carried away. You got the wrong thing. You invested in the wrong thing. We need to stay focused in this world. We need to stay focused on what we are here for. Right? That doesn't mean that we're going to sit in depression, and it doesn't mean that we don't enjoy life. On the contrary, someone who really knows what they're here for is the happiest person alive. Is a person who can eat and enjoy, who can drink and enjoy, who can have a good time, who can laugh and who can sing and who can dance and who can, right? All of these things, this is what it's about, right? It's about taking what we need to do, and this is what Ramchal is encouraging us to do, is taking the time to evaluate, why are we here? Why did Hashem give us life? If Hashem gave us life to enjoy it, if Hashem gave us life to inspire, to be inspired and to inspire others, so let's do it and enjoy it, right? There's no. I don't think there's anyone who can think rationally that their only objective in this world is run after one vacation after another vacation, and one new fad after another fad, and one fashion after another fashion, and building another home and another home, right? It may be physically pleasing, but it's certainly not pleasing for the soul. We have embedded within us a very, very lofty soul that seeks that connection. And ultimately, in the world to come, it's not the physical things that are going to be standing for us. It's going to be the spiritual things that we've accomplished. Okay. So where are we up to here? So he says 175. Yes. So sadly, sometimes people wake up when it's too late for them to make any changes, right? And they can't repair what they've spent too many years running away from. An elaboration of this point, and this is what King Solomon, of blessed memory, this is what he was referring when he said in Ecclesiastes, Kol asher timtza yadcha la'asot b'kochacha aseh. Whatever you are able to do with your ability, do. Ki ein ma'aseh v'cheshbon v'dat v'chokhmah b'sho'ol asher ata olech shama. For there is neither action, nor reckoning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave where you are going. V'hainu, what does that mean? He says, Ki ma she'ein ha'adam oseh ad she'hakoach masur biyado miboro. This means that whatever good deeds a person does not do while the ability to do them is given by his Creator, hu hakoach habchiri hamasur lo kol yemei chayav. Shuhu bahem chiri u'mitzuveh la'asot. And this ability is the power of free will that is given to him all the days of his life, during which he has free will and is commanded to act in the service of Hashem. So here we are. We're in a world where God gives us the ability, all of this ability. He gives us all of this talent, and He gives us all amazing opportunity, and potentially we can squander it. I apologize. Okay, we can squander it by wasting our time and our focus on things that are not the things that we should be focusing on. So what King Solomon is telling us, he says, if you have the opportunity to do it, do it. Meaning the good deeds. Don't wait, because once we're down at the bottom, once we're in our grave, we have no more chance. We have no more opportunity. Hine lo yuchal la'asot od ba'kever u'ba'sho'ol. He will no longer be able to do any of this in his grave and in the abyss. She'en hakoach hazeh od biado, for he no longer possesses the ability. Ki mi shelo hirber ma'asim tovim b'chayav, whoever did not accumulate many good deeds during his lifetime, ef shelo la'asotam achrei ken. One who did not make a reckoning of his actions in this world, lo yelo zman l'chashvo az, will not have the ability to make that reckoning at a later point. Right? So this world is the time where we have this ability to make an accounting. And one who did not become wise in this world, is not going to become wise in the grave. Right? And this is what King Solomon states in that verse. For there is neither action, nor reckoning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave where you are going. What they say is that what we all have in common is 100% guaranteed, is that we will all die. Right? And it's like, why do you need to say that, right? The truth is that the ability that we have in this world is like an hourglass. It's running out. It's running out. I was once thinking that it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to have, they have these countdown meters for sometimes they do it, how many more days till the election day. And now if you look at the television today, I was on the plane coming to Houston, and on every station on the television, they had like a countdown to the special counsel's, he's going to be questioned on Capitol Hill, right? So they're counting down till he's before the debate. 2 days and 14 hours, and it's like there's a countdown. Imagine if we had a countdown for our life. Okay, let's assume we're living 120 years. Okay, make the calculation of how many years we have left, and put that timer. Have it big in your house, right? How many, right? I can't imagine that it'll be easy to waste time. Right? Think about that for a second. Imagine if you had a clock counting down to your 120, right? And imagine that, wasting time, right? It's frightening. No, it's a frightening thought that wasting time. It's time off the clock, and it's not coming back. It's not coming back. But a person who does mitzvahs, a person who connects with the Almighty, a person who prays, a person who does the things that Hashem tells us in His Torah. This is what I put you in this world for. So great, I'm fulfilling what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So Shabbos is not time off. Shabbos is time in, right? Shabbos becomes, this is why God put me here. Every mitzvah that we do, every good deed, every good thought, every blessing that we make, everything is taking that time that we're given, which is very limited, and uplifting it. I think it's such a powerful thing. If we can create such a clock. Right? Imagine a baby's born, 119 years, 11 months, 30 days, and 23 hours and 59 minutes. And now the clock keeps ticking down. That's it. That's it you got. You got 120 years, right? And that's it. It's frightening. It really is frightening. Okay? And this is what Ramchal is telling us, is that nothing changes after that. It's all over. You can't give your donations, and you can't make that phone call, and you can't visit the sick, and you volunteer your time. It's over, right? And it's what King Solomon here is reiterating here. He says, by contemplating this reality and recognizing that one's status in the world to come will relate directly to the efforts he made in this world to choose the correct path, one can be motivated to make the accounting required for what we're talking about here, which is vigilance, zihirut. This is the motivation of the second group of people, meaning those who are aroused by the desire for honor. Right? So there are people who that's what they desire. They desire honor, and when you talk to them in the language of honor, they react. Okay. Any questions on this part?
You have to really recalibrate your whole life.
Absolutely. We constantly need to recalibrate our whole life.
Yeah.
Every day
Yes.
we need to reevaluate and say, you know what? Yesterday was a great day, but maybe yesterday wasn't a great day. Maybe yesterday I just wasted time. Maybe yesterday I could have done something that I didn't, and I'm never going to have yesterday again. So we constantly need to, our sages tell us, we constantly need to reevaluate on a regular basis. Am I going on the path that anybody who runs a company, who's part of a company, knows that they have projections, they have a vision, they have goals, they have many things they want to accomplish. And it's vital for that company to constantly reevaluate and think, 1 second, okay, we had a great month, but did we sell the product we wanted to sell? Did we sell it to the right audience we wanted, right? Whatever it is, right? They constantly need to be reevaluating, making sure that they're not just getting, I've said this story before here in this class of the baker, my rabbi's uncle, who was a baker, and they were selling so much product, they couldn't keep up with all the demands. But a few years later, they called in an accountant to make heads and tails from everything. Turns out they were losing money from every product they were selling. It's not enough to just sell, right? You have to sell with a profit, right? And here they were losing money on every item they were selling.
It's not enough just to recognize that you need to make a change. It's making the change. The
Exactly.
adjustment is part of the evaluation.
Exactly. And that's really what the Torah is telling us about. The Ramchal is not, the Ramchal is he's bringing these sources from King Solomon to teach us that this is the Torah. The Torah is telling us how to run a company. All right, that company is called My Life. Right, how to properly implement effective management of our lives, and constantly reevaluating. I like to say, my father used to have a plane. We used to go flying. Now, there was one thing that my father would do in the middle of flight, it's called a trim, right? And the reason you use a trim, on the jets that we fly over the ocean and from big cities, right, the big jets, right, everything over there is computerized, so it does it by itself. But it's complicated because every 100 feet could be a new wind structure, right? You can have winds coming from the southeast, you can have it from here, from there, right? So you're trying to head to a certain direction, and you have the winds coming from all different sides, right? So you have to constantly use this trim to overcome and compensate for those little winds. We set our sights and we want to fly our lives in a certain direction. But we constantly have challenges. We have these winds that are coming and blowing us. There's a new fashion, there's a new thing. We have our children, we have our spouses, we have our community, we have all these other jobs and this and that, all these different challenges that come and try to push us off our goal. And we need to use that trim to constantly readjust and realign, make sure we're still on course heading the direction we want to head to. So I think it's an important thing for us to constantly try to remember this and gain this vigilance in our life. Not to brush it off, not to say, okay, one day we'll do it, but to sit and say alone and think to ourselves, okay, I have these talents, I have these abilities, I have these these awesome skills, right? What am I doing to bring God into this world? What am I doing to maximize? Why did God give me all of this? He did it for a purpose. How can I maximize it? And what can I do to make sure that I stay on course? And constantly reevaluate and check ourselves to ensure that we don't go off course, right? So I think we should stop here because it's a lot, and I don't want to rush ahead and then we lose it's something for us to really think about, right? Not to let go of this important focus in our lives. To always have this focus of what's my direction that I'm heading in, and how do I ensure that I'm staying on target. All right? We'll stop here tonight, and God willing, we're going to continue next week and the week after. And the week after we're on. We'll continue from page 77, the third level of contemplation. And we just want to remind everyone that all of the other classes, the Thursday morning class, Wednesday night, Partners in Torah, the Talmud class is also on Friday, I'm really excited about all of this. So looking forward to many, many more awesome opportunities to learn together. All right, my friends, thank you. I'm sorry I've been a little bit more tired and not as,
I understand.
but I'm happy to be back here. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.